I mentioned in the introduction a few of the things that you do.
Yes.
Do you want to tell the audience a little bit more about how you got into those things?
Streaming was something that I at first wasn't too sure about, but I had met my partner about a couple years ago, and she's actually a Twitch streamer as well. And she just threw the idea of maybe you should try streaming, being, a black transgender individual. You can probably find a good space on Twitch, make a good community. Make people feel more comfortable, especially people like me, feel more comfortable being in a public scene, like on Twitch, which I do understand that there are some, it can get a little messy at times in there, but I like having a space that is free of judgment, very inclusive, and just very open, where you can come in, you can share things you've done today, you can share your feelings about something. We don't stray away from awkward conversation while I'm gaming or while I'm just doing other things, because I like I like listening to people, talking to people, understanding how things were like in their life, and sharing my experiences as well. And I find that streaming is it's kind of a really good place to express myself and learn about others.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. I'm just really new into it myself, but definitely enjoying it and looking forward to doing more. I want to take this opportunity. The next question I like to ask about misconceptions. It's like a sub
Yes.
question, really. And since we're both kind of, I mean, you I guess have a little bit more experience with Twitch than I do, but what would you say is a misconception that people might have about being a Twitch streamer?
It is okay. I'm gonna say it. Streaming is not easy. It is really not. Like, they just think that you turn on a camera and you just play games or just do whatever. But it's more so having to keep a conversation going, having to ensure that like there isn't any like toxicity in your chat or in your community, making sure that you have a good schedule and being able to abide by it majority of the time. They literally, people just think that it's I'll sit in front of a camera, I'll turn on a game and I'll play it. But it's like, no, there's also having to communicate, having to take breaks and keep people entertained. That's what it is. Always just think that once you turn the camera on, you're just going to be entertaining. And it's like, no, it's not that easy. There have been moments where I've just kind of had to be like, I need to step away from this because I'm burned out.
Yeah. In my sort of limited experience so far of just kind of a few weeks, like I guess one of the main things, because I'm still very new, and so most of my streams, I don't get any viewers, and that's kind of demoralizing, to be honest, when you get on there and you're excited, but then you're like literally just doing something for yourself essentially, and like that's why people have been telling me you can't, if you're only streaming for the audience to get the follows, then you shouldn't be doing it. And the other thing, like because I as I've said on the show many times, I'm a morning person. I have the best energy for the first kind of half of the day, and because I can't stream during work hours, or rather I avoid doing that for obvious reasons, I try to wait until like 4 or 5 p.m. and by that point I'm not as energetic, and streaming does take energy for me. And so a lot of my streams have only been like 30 to 60 minutes, and by the end of that I do feel like, okay, especially if there's no like audience, I'm like, do I want to just keep pushing myself? So that's also why I want to get into doing a few more different things, because I feel like gaming takes concentration, but if I'm doing like an art stream, it's more relaxed, and I feel like it won't tire me out quite as much. And just so I'm hoping to eventually be able to do more like 2-hour streams or something. But
if there's one thing you should do though, I know you just need to advertise. If you can find like a network of just be like, hey, I'm going to be going live. People, I mean, if you have Twitter, or just any platform you're on, just be like, I'm going live. Because I did that. I started streaming to like one person, no people at a time. But I mean, my average hasn't gone up a lot, but it's like I do and I go on there. There will be people there watching. It's like, okay, cool, But you just have to advertise. Because I realize that once I advertise on Twitter that I'm going live, people will show up. Especially if it's especially for in our very close knit trans community, people will show up just for support. And it's an amazing feeling.
Yeah, and like the other interesting thing too is because like lately I've been just looking like I just like watching some streams passively while I'm like doing stuff, and so I'm noticing that like during kind of the morning and then like the daytime, I haven't found too many people that I follow so far who are usually like live. Then it's usually like more in the evening and late at night. So I need to try to find more people who stream during like kind of morning and daytime in the Eastern time zone.
I found that most of the people that I watch that stream in the morning are like in Japan.
Yeah.
Or the rest of the world, but I go,
or like UK. Yeah.
I can't understand what you're saying, but I like watching. So
yeah, that's I hadn't thought of that. I know like Europe is kind of but again, most people are like more like late night. So even if it's like 10 p.m. in Europe, it's still going to be like 5-6 p.m. here. So it's still kind of on the later side.
But I see like once you build like a good small audience, they will always want to come out and watch you.
That's what I keep telling myself is like, I got to just keep doing, the grinding until I have one or two people that keep popping in, and that will really kind of help motivate me. But I'm starting to have more fun with it now that I'm kind of finding my groove.
It's just more so just have fun with it. And like I've actually stopped looking at like the numbers. I just like having fun being on camera.
Yeah. That's a good way to go.